Hello, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Women's Wellness Lounge Show and this month's series, the She Is series. Tonight, I am bringing before you three wonderful, empowering, and impactful women to share some stories with you during Women's History Month. Let me just tell you, we have some background to tell you, okay? Technical difficulties kept this show from being aired at 7 p.m., but it's okay. The time that you spent sitting there just waiting for us to go live will be well worth it, okay? Because these ladies that I am just anxiously waiting to bring before you tonight are going to share some empowering and impactful stories with you and some information surrounding Women's History Month. Yesterday, March 8th, was International Women's Day, and I'm telling you, what I saw on social media and what was shared is what kind of keep me fueled. The information that was shared, the empowering stories that was shared, and the quotes, and just all of the energy that I felt yesterday gives me that what I need to continue to push forward and to show up and to be great and to keep striving for a healthy legacy and to keep doing the work that I'm doing to impact the community. So I don't want to delay any further. I'm telling you guys, you're going to wait to see who I'm bringing in front of you. We have Miss Allenia Renee. Then we have coming on Miss Lakisha McGainey Osei. Bam, there she is. And then last but certainly not least, we have Miss Dr. Rica Wilson. Good evening, ladies. How are you?
Doing well,
Great.
doing well.
Good.
Wow.
Listen, didn't I'm telling you, it was user error, I must say. Okay. I can't even blame it on the systems. It was all me. But it was like I told the listening audience, it is well worth the wait because these powerful ladies that I have before you this evening are coming on to just share. They're special to me, number one. So I don't care. You don't think so. I know so. Okay. Because each of them said yes to our project that we did, the She Is Well project. So that's how I know that they're impactful. And that's how I know that they have stories and information to share with the community that is impactful and that they're continuing to do great work. So I want to start with Allenia. Allenia, good evening. I want you to just kind of share with us how are you and what are you doing during this Women's History Month? What are you doing? What is Miss Allenia Renee doing?
Oh, well, hello, everyone. During this month, I'm telling you, when I first heard about it, the exciting part about this being a month for us as women, I'm like, hey, we do this every day, but we're gonna have a whole entire month. So what I have chosen to do is something a little bit different this year with being in the house and working from home. I sat down and I said to myself, okay, you want to start something new? When do you want to start it? And this was the month that I decided to start doing some different things. So, besides rebranding my business, working on my health, and working on some of those relationships, it may not seem much to some people, but being closed in and away from others, a lot of times you get that distance, and just rebuilding that, I am finding so much joy. And that's what this month is all about, is bringing myself back some joy and making sure that I am, filling my cup.
Listen, you said two magic words. One was joy and the other was relationships.
Yeah.
Those two things for me are like top of list for 2022.
Yes.
So I'm feeling all of that joy, just creating that joy. And that's going to lead me right into the next person I'm getting ready to spotlight. And that is Miss Joy over yonder, Miss Lakisha McGainey Osei. So, Lakisha, what are you doing during Women's History Month?
Thank you, first of all, Delana, for this platform and to bring us all together again. It's always a pleasure to be in your midst. And we're still celebrating the 10 years that the Women's Wellness Lounge has been around. But joy is just over yonder is we are focused on healing well. This March is different for me because I have been actually going through the process I was sharing with Alina earlier of healing through a severe concussion. And the amount of healing, which I'm still in the process of doing, that it takes, I had no idea. So, what I have focused on during this month is healing well, not rushing it, not letting go. And tonight I actually am going to talk about how to heal well. But actively, what I've done is sought out a accountability partner to help me get back on track. So this is the year of having an accountability partner that I will have throughout the year, something that I haven't locked into consistently. Taking my yes to the next is my focus for this year. My word for last year was overflow, and I'm continuing that. And so I want to be able to help myself slowly, but still be able to get back into the midst of things, is to offer the overflow brunch that had to be rescheduled while I was healing. I think that is a very important part of kicking off this year. So we're going to continue to operate in the overflow. So you all will be seeing some updates about that overflow brunch, where we would love to be able to recognize you in person.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Listen, and your two magic words were the yes, right? Taking your yes to the next level, and then the overflow. So I
Yeah.
like all of that. So I'm
Yeah.
pulling out from each of you. We're gonna elaborate on Allenia, and we're gonna elaborate on you too in a second. So that brings me to Dr. Rica Wilson. Tell me, and I know that you're doing great things. You know, we've already been on
Thank
a
you.
few different platforms, but just tell us what your focus is for this month, for Women's History Month in particular. I know we're all doing great things throughout the year, but in particular during Women's History Month, if there's anything that you're specifically focusing on.
Thank you so much for having me. So honored to be here. So, yes, Brown Girl Wellness is so excited to launch our Relationship Enhancement Center this month. We have Linnell Watkins of SOAR Coaching. She is the director of our center, and we're working in partnership together. So, as our launch, what we will be doing is actually having an event at the end of the month on March the 25th, where we will be discussing American standards of beauty and how they impact, especially African American women. So the focus is my beauty versus America. So we're going to be looking at some of the historical context of how American standards have impacted our community, and in our own communities, how we have set our standards of beauty based on what other people think. Moreover, in the art of storytelling, what I love, what I do, we're celebrating the narratives of women everywhere. So from Dubai to Maryland, we're celebrating those narratives, and we're coming together to share, and particularly thinking about the women in my family who did not have the opportunity to share their narratives. So being able to share the power of their narratives is very important to me.
See, I knew it. I went right in the order in which it was supposed to go and flow. I'm telling you, all of that just is giving me goosebumps, okay? In a true sense, because we as women collectively are doing great things individually, and then collectively we are just doing things that are just so powerful. So, of course, make sure that we all share those events together with one another so that we can somehow support. Even if we're not there in person, I think being able to share events for other people to partake in them and to learn about them and to know what we have going on, right? The more eyes and ears that are lended to our events, it helps the word and the mission to be spread. For me in particular, outside of doing the She Is series, y'all know the whole She Is platform is just power to me. And so it was just, of course, had to do that for this month. I am focusing mostly on two things. Of course, as always, She Is empowering women with my event that I have coming up, the wine event, Women, Wine, and Wellness. And then that's on the 19th. And then I have also this menopause, y'all. I'm not going to get on my menopause soapbox, but let me just tell you, that has taken me down this whole valley, and I'm gonna free the women. Okay, I'm gonna free the women. I'm gonna free the women because they say that your purpose sometimes is birthed out of your pain.
Yeah.
Because getting through and going through with a lack of knowledge, confusion, frustration,
Yeah.
just it shouldn't be this way, and so that has become my sole mission. I have devoted 6 months to developing what we as Black women, and I've created this Black Women in Menopause support group. I'm getting ready to free some women in the valley, so that has become my mission. There is no reason that we should not be thriving after the period and embracing menopause. It is feminine evolution, and I'm about to set some women free. Okay.
Can you just say feminine evolution one more time?
Yes, that feminine evolution. I'm about to set some women free. That's what it is. So we've got to look
The
at
hot
it like
flash
that.
is real. The hot flash is real.
The hot flash is real. Like lean in, okay?
Yep. Don't have any mercy. Have no mercy.
No mercy.
Place, time, no mercy.
No mercy. Well, guess
That's
what? I'm telling you, we're going to set some women free during their hot flash, okay? Because you can go all the way from Alaska straight to Hawaii in 2.5 seconds. Like, it just shouldn't be that way, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing during this Women's History Month is that's what the Women's Wellness Lounge is focused on, is really opening up the conversation around menopause. Because I say to people, we can talk about getting our menstrual, we can talk about having sex, we can talk about getting pregnant, but no one has a conversation about going through perimenopause and menopause. We just don't. It's just considered the change. And then we just, that's the end of the conversation. And so we're going to change the narrative around that. Okay. So,
that's
all right,
funny,
so outside of that, I'm off of my menopause soapbox. All right. So Allenia, we're going to kick back. We're going to just do conversation. You talked about joy.
Yes.
So joy, as people always describe it, as joy is what is felt within. Like no one can tell you what joy is. It's something that you experience. It's your own feeling.
Yes.
So talk to the people a little bit about joy. Do you have a particular plan? Are you tracking activities that you're doing to bring you joy? What are you doing specifically to really embrace what that looks like and then being able to give that to other people?
Okay, that's a good question, because what I talk about on my YouTube channel and in my on my podcast, Juicy Bits and Things, I always talk about being intentional. And sometimes, we stop being intentional with ourselves. And as a business owner, so and a wife and a mother and a daughter, you lose sight of things. And sometimes you have to have a time where you bring yourself back to being intentional about what you do, what you say. Are you aligning yourself with those things that matter most to you? So, rechecking myself, stopping and really following my strategy that I call it the slow no strategy, which is to stop and to listen. Listen to what's being said, listen, and then once you listen, you stop, you listen, then you're going to observe how you feel. I stopped observing how I felt about things. Yes. So I wasn't saying no when I should be saying no, and yes when I should be saying yes. So that means that if you say yes to something, you're saying no to something that could possibly be important or something that you need to fill your cup, because you should not be given from your cup. And that's what I was doing. I was doing the exact thing I was telling people not to do.
Yeah.
So like, you know what, Allenia, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah,
because you can't get joy like that.
Exactly. No. So I'm like, you know what? Stop. Yeah. Stop and make sure that you're observing and being more intentional about, how you feel and what you can say yes to and what you should be saying no to get back to joy, making sure that it aligns with my core values, my three, my time, my freedom, and my family. If it doesn't align, you don't do it.
That's right.
Because it's going to throw you off whack, and then you're going to be giving from something you don't have.
Absolutely.
And that's what I was doing. And I was finding that in my business. and I was spinning my wheels, and I wasn't being, effective and impactful.
Mm.
So that's all I was doing
That's
was
huge.
spending money and not making it, or
Yeah.
spending time and not make it. And you
Yeah.
can't get time back. You,
Yeah.
you
Absolutely.
can't. So that's where, that was the whole purpose. I wanted to do something a little bit different, because
Okay.
when I go into April, it's gonna be like fire.
It's gonna be. I love it. She says it's gonna be like fire, y'all. Okay, I love it. I'm gonna hold you to that. I love that. All right. So next up, we want to hear about this healing well. Miss Lakisha
Yeah.
McGainey Osei. We know. I'm gonna move you around. So we know about your accident, and so I want to be able to have you share just a little bit about that as well.
Sure, yes. And I love what she said, because you're a good lead-in for me. You really are.
Yep.
Because I was also looking at an article I wrote about the overflow, and that the very first part of it is, you ever sit back and think, when will my cup runneth over? So we always want our cup to run over, but you got to learn how to empty it out. And sometimes that overflow that we bask in and feel is abundance, it can also be the same thing that we start drowning in if we don't take a step back. So this leads to the healing well. So yes, I was in a car accident back in November. And I'm a person who, wear different hats, full-time jobs, trying to, have my business going, still raising a young teenage boy. So have a lot going on. However, this so-called fender bender shook my whole world, because it's different when you are in an accident or you're injured and somebody puts a cast on you for 6 weeks, 3 weeks, and say, you'll be healed after that. It's different when it's your brain, when it's your head, and when it's trauma. And even though they call them mild TBIs, when it stops the way you focus and concentrate and run your life, it's more than mild. It's like a major difference. So learning how to overcome that, and really learning how to accept my limitations, has been a big learning lesson for
That's
me.
huge for us, because
It is
when we know
huge.
we're capable, two things, right? That you can be capable but not able. And so
Exactly.
when we struggle with that, like you're capable of doing something, but are you able to do it?
But able
Those
to
are
do
two
it.
different things.
And Delana knows, like, again, this is November. So, after December, a couple emergency room visits, I have a 3-day event planned in January. So I have already told myself, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this event. It will happen. And literally, I still wanted to make myself believe that I can make it happen. And literally a week, even changing it to virtual, I said, well, I'll just make it virtual. So how are you going to have a 2-day virtual event when you can't even look at a screen for an hour?
Right.
But
It still takes energy.
I still was trying to convince myself that I could do it. So we are so used to getting back up when we're knocked down immediately, that we won't take the time to heal well. And so one of the hardest emails I ever wrote was to say to my speakers, I can't do it. I can't move forward with this. I'm going to have to put it on hold. And so the 2-day event, the brunch, the 3rd day, I had to put it aside and say to myself what my girlfriend told me even weeks before. So you're going to have a wellness event and jeopardize your own health? I'm just not understanding how that makes sense.
You got to make it make sense, right?
It makes to me. It was the psychologist in her, but it was the common sense in her also.
Right.
Make it make sense. So we put that cape on, and I had to say, heal well. And I even wrote it out to myself. First, healing the mind takes time. You can't rush it, period. And when the people hear concussion, they did a brain scope on me. Severity levels are 1 to 100. I was walking around at 1, the worst you could be. Still feel like I could operate as usual. No, ma'am. And then that E was that empty your cup. So when you said that, I was like, you have to be okay emptying your cup out and letting it slowly refill. And if it has to stay empty for a while, it's okay, because guess what? The world still kept spinning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So allow time to heal and don't rush it. L, you have to learn to accept your limitations, and that's that capable but not able right now.
Right.
Not able right now.
Yeah.
And then W, I took more time to work on me, not focusing on, still I would catch myself. Let me see what's going on. I could have been doing this, but no, I had to keep pulling myself and said, no, just keep working on you, because eventually that E is going to come. You're going to evolve and elevate because you took that time to heal.
You took the time that you needed.
And then those last two L's of heal well. Learn to accept help from others.
Yes.
Like, man.
Oh,
people offered. If you need anything, call. And I'm like, no, I don't want to bother people. And then you realize you can't drive 45 minutes to an appointment. You need help.
Yes.
You need to allow people to give you that help. Our girlfriend, she went, I'm going to go grocery shopping. I can do it. No, let me do this and bring you the food.
Right.
So that is a big thing for me, letting other people help. And the last L, again, you have to love you how you are right now. Yeah, whether you at 30%, 80%, or 110%.
Yes.
Love on you on whatever level you are, so that you can heal well.
Recognize and love on that. I love it.
Yes.
So thank you for that. Absolutely. See that cup overflow, that cup, and then the overflow right into that. And now I want to move over to, first I want to welcome all of our guests that are watching us live, and welcome to those who may watch the replay. You, of course, can certainly continue to ask questions and leave comments, because I do come back and read them and reply to them. Christina, welcome. Quintera, Rica, welcome as well. I can see you guys because you're commenting. So welcome to tonight's episode of the Women's Wellness Lounge. Tonight we are talking about the She Is series during Women's History Month. So Dr. Rica, you were talking about how we need to check out and understand and learn about what we have defined as what beauty should be, and what we look at to say what is and isn't beautiful. So elaborate on that a little bit more, because I do feel, and I always say that, what people say about the aesthetics. So I think that we tend to look obviously at what we see with our eyes and not necessarily with our heart. The whole judge a book by its cover type thing. What do we see? What do we define as being beautiful? A person can be beautifully aesthetic to the eye and be evil and despiteful and deceitful and not have a clean, pure heart. So that goes a little bit deeper maybe into what you were referring to. But I do think as a society, what we look at as the American beauty standard has shifted quite a bit.
Yes. And I would like to start with my grandmother's and your She Is. When you said she is tonight, I automatically thought she is sleeping, right? She is sleeping. She is sleeping forever. She's in her grave, both of them. And that was really a hard pill to swallow, right? These beautiful women who are now sleeping, and they are sleeping with all their gifts and all those things that they never experienced, right? Because of all these standards, sometimes that they did not meet the criteria in order to be able to measure up in this American dream. So I'll start with my grandma, Josephine, for an example. So I honor them. This month, people may be looking for other folks to, Google and honor. I'm starting at home. I'm honoring my grandmothers, right? The women who are sleeping, they will never get to tell their story. So I am she, right? I have to share my story. So I'll start with my grandma, Josephine McFadden, bless her soul, right? my grandma always smelled like food. When you hugged on her, she always smelled like shrimp, or because she worked at a place called Chat and Chew, right? So she always smelled like burgers. She always smelled like shrimp. And then her boots are so big, you just got lost in them. She hugged you like, this hug is serious. This is a serious hug. This is a real deal. This love, right? So, and when I think of her, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. She wasn't what we see on magazines, right? This skinny little mini. You know, I used to be a skinny mini, honey, but after 3 10-pound babies, I'm not a skinny mini anymore. these skinny minis, right? You know, and all of these things, this, you know, hair you go buy from the Asian store. And all these things, these nails you go get and you let somebody else put them on and you put them on, all that stuff. You know, my grandma, she never had any of that, but she was beautiful, right? And so, and she never got to be celebrated in that light, you know, in accordance with American standards of beauty. But she was so beautiful. Right. And so these stories go with them to their grave, and that really bothers me. Imagine how many women, if we were to count how many women in our communities, especially brown women, who went to their grave with their stories, with their beauty, never untold, never unfolded, right? Because it didn't fit into the picket fence. It didn't fit into the magazine cover. It didn't fit into the colorism that's still in our community that we really don't want to talk about, right? Yeah. What happened? Where is it? Right? And so she is sleeping. That's one of my grandmothers. It smelled like food, not, oh my goodness. My grandma. We can smell the burger, grandma. Bless her soul.
You smell the shrimp right now.
I smell, you know what? And I can't even eat shrimp anymore. When I got pregnant with my third son, I couldn't eat seafood anymore. I'm still traumatized. Like, I can't eat crab cakes. Are you serious? So anyway, I have to hold on to like the turkey wings, even though I'm trying to be a vegan. I am such an in and out vegan. I don't even know what to call it. Really. My kid was at me earlier. My son was like, "Ma, are you eating chicken wings? Aren't you a vegan?" I was like, "I'm a vegan on Wednesday. Oh, it is Wednesday. I'm a vegan on Thursday. I'm eating chicken wings today." You know, I'm working progress. Y'all pray for me. Y'all pray for me because the animal fat got me just bound. Okay.
For no reason, right?
Okay, just all bound up. It's the truth. Turkey wings will have you in a situation you don't realize you're in until you sit out there. Right, a whole situation. So funny. So my grandma Josephine, if I go back to her for a minute, I was in Akaki at Akaki Seafood, right? And I tasted the turkey wing. The turkey wing just took me all the way back to her kitchen table on Sunday morning, right? After leaving the little AME church on the side of the road. Right. And there I was, right, in this country field sitting there, but I'm in the parking lot at Akaki, but food, you know, just took me there. Right. And I said, somebody in that kitchen's from the South. I said, y'all from South Carolina? They said, no, we from North Carolina. I said, that's good enough, right? Because I'm from South Carolina and I could taste the love in those turkey wings. It reminded me of my grandmother. So just want to celebrate her. And how many women, right, are breaking their backs in kitchens every day and no one says that's beautiful. Cooking those meals are beautiful. Okay? Beauty is not just about, you know, how big your booty is. Beauty is being able to put some food on the table for your family. That's beautiful. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's beautiful. Okay, I can make it work if I want to. Okay, it's beautiful. I can just make it work if I want to. Okay, another thing, my other grandma, her name was Kari, right? And I hope my sister cousin is watching Mimi because my grandma connected us before she passed away. She would always talk about me, and we never connected until my grandmother passed away. And it's like, where you been all my life, cousin, sister? Where you been? So she was so dedicated to her family. You hear me? She died never having the opportunity to take a vacation, never having an opportunity, probably not even to go to a movie theater. Nothing. Everything she did was all about her family. She never, ever, ever considered herself. How beautiful. I mean, yeah, we got to take care of ourselves. That's true. But how beautiful is that? What kind of sacrifice is that? So she is sleeping, but she is also beautiful, right? So at the end of this month, we're going to uncover some things, and we're going to talk about what real beauty looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you can take out your weave, okay?
Yes.
You don't have to go get a waist trainer and just let it all hang out, honey, especially if you had a couple of babies, okay? So a human lived here. So don't worry about that. A human lived here. Just be blessed, all right? And mind your business, all right?
Drink some water and mind your business.
Mind your business. Just mind your business. All of your business, okay? So we're going to really be looking at what beauty really is, Delana, because when I'm 100 plus, right? My beauty is more than what I look like on the outside. My beauty is what I give to the community every day. How I love on babies that aren't even mine, right? That's beauty. How you feed folks that you don't even know. That's beauty. So we want to talk about the real deal. When I see my sister and I can celebrate her and say, girl, you rocking that dress. That's beauty. That's an attitude. We have beautiful attitudes. So we're talking about beauty beyond boundaries and beyond what we see, beyond the aesthetic, right? We want to talk about the beautiful heart. Okay. So I know I got a little carried away.
No, it was perfect.
Anyway, we really want to talk about the beautiful heart, because I believe if we plant a seed and start telling folks about, let's really tap into your beauty, your inner beauty, we're going to deal with less bad attitudes when we have to get with customer service. No one wants to tell a sister, can I talk to you for a minute? Why you got an attitude? Really? You don't have to have an attitude. Sister to sister, get it right. That's beautiful. So we want to get past all the nastiness and really be beautiful from inside out. And when you put on weave or whatever you want to wear, that's your business. But guess what? It's coming from the inside, right? You're just enhancing the outside, but the beauty is on the inside. Right. So, amen. Thank you, Jesus. And go ahead and take up the offering. Okay.
That's right. Take up the offering. All right, you guys, listen. So I told you that it was well worth the wait, and I'm so glad that you guys waited around for tonight's airing of our live show. And welcome to those of you who are joining us live. So as we wrap up, I actually I'm going to bring each of the ladies onto the screen, and I want them. So we talked about beauty, relationships, joy, overflow, healing well. And I want each of them to leave you with some powerful words, and then their information as to how you can follow them for more and to find out about activities and events that they have coming up. So here we go. We're going to start with Allenia. Since we started with you, we're going to lead out with you as well. So I'm going to spotlight you and have you tell some words of wisdom, a quote, some inspiration, and then how they can follow you and find out more information about you.
Okay. All right. So I want to leave you with this quickly. I want you to find the courage to not feel guilty when you say no. Find it through being consistent, setting boundaries, and creating sustainable habits that inspire mindful transformation so that you can come out with the win. And that win means that you are making sure that you are showing up for yourself first, so that you can change the way you think, so that you can change the way you feel, and so that you can behave differently. And ultimately, you'll be filling your cup so that you can give your overflow. All right. You can find me on YouTube at Allenia Renee. And also, you can join listen to our podcast every Tuesday, which is Juicy Bits and Things on YouTube. And then on Thursdays on YouTube, I give mini coaching sessions as well. And you can also find me on Instagram at Allenia_Renee.
Thank you so much for that. Listen, you guys, she gave you a formula and a step how to pour from your overflow. Next up, we have Miss Lakisha McGainey Osei. Come through, Lakisha, and give us that healing well and how we can follow you.
Yes, we are a serious tag team, Alina. So I'm going to leave you with having a confident overflow plan. So this is going to be your recovery plan for whatever you're going through. So you're going to overflow by first flowing. Free your mind, body, and spirit. There's freedom in liberating yourself. So I want you to keep that in mind. Be mindful of the energy around you, including what you consume. You want to lavish yourself with self love, self care, and self compassion. And then you want to own your decisions, whether it's being vegan on Thursday or Wednesday, it doesn't matter. Just own your decision. And then I W that flow, wrap yourself with wellness. Create yourself a wellness tribe, explore holistic approaches to your wellness, and be open to seeking out therapeutic services, no matter where they are. So create that overflow plan for yourself so that you can heal well. You can find me at joyisjustoveryonder.com. You can email me anytime at hello@joyisjustoveryonder.com. And you can follow me on most social media, Twitter, Instagram at I am LM Osei. I am Lakisha McGainey Osei. Continue to live, move, and overcome.
I love it. Thank you, Lakisha. And then last but not least, she is sleeping. Dr. Rica, leave us with some
Yes.
words of wisdom and how we can follow you
Let's
for more
see.
information.
Yes. I would like to tell people, be beautiful. Okay. Just be beautiful. It's just like that. And let the beauty bless your life. Okay. You can find me in my kitchen because I homeschool and then I'm the cafeteria manager. Okay. When I'm not in my kitchen, I'm on Instagram in my kitchen. I'm on Facebook in my kitchen, cooking for my children. All right. And so that is Brown Girl Wellness on Facebook. We are brown.girl.wellness on Instagram. And just peace and love. Be beautiful. It's really an inside out kind of stuff.
I love it. Yay. I appreciate you guys. Listen, you all know what we went through to get here tonight. So, I appreciate you holding tight and staying steadfast because I knew that we had a message to share. So I want to thank each of you again, as I said, for being patient and staying the course because I knew that you had some powerful and empowering words to share with tonight's audience. So again, thank you. Just as I leave you guys, what I want to share is that this She Is series that we will be doing throughout the month of March, we have 3 more that will be coming up on Wednesdays at 7 p.m., provided I don't have no behind the scene technical issues. But this series is meant to empower and inspire and motivate you during this month of March. As you know, that is always my mission in the Women's Wellness Lounge. And you can find out more information about me, the services that we offer. Again, we are a multifaceted health enterprise nonprofit, and we look for your time, talent, and treasure. So you can find out more information. You can, go on our website and find out what we do and how you can help us to eliminate health disparities in our community, empower Black, Indigenous people of color, allowing them to have an advantage and empowerment and more positive outcomes around their health. So that's womenswellnesslounge.org. I'm your host. I appreciate you being here tonight, and it's Delana Watkins. You all have a blessed evening.
I love your
Thank you,
commercial.
ladies.